Hello everyone, this is Tom Morley from T3D. This video is going to be on the creation of the 2D images that will be necessary for the next video on Godot's 2D engine, the physics and collisions aspect of the 2D engine itself. I contemplated for a little while whether I was going to create this video or I was going to package up the 2D images and make them available for the tutorial. And really this channel is all about from the ground up getting a game up and running. So we're going to need a few things installed on our OS so that we can create these games, and one of those things is Gimp. We need some kind of photo editing software, be that Gimp or Photoshop. I'm going to be using Gimp. So if you don't have Gimp loaded up, there's a couple of ways you can get Gimp. If you're using Linux like I am, Linux Mint, then you can open up your software manager and probably click on the featured packages, and Gimp's probably going to be in the top 10. It's the first thing I installed on my operating system. I love Gimp. So if you're using a Mac or a Windows-based system, then go ahead and fire up a browser and go to www.gimp.org and click on the download section. You'll have to click on the show other downloads to get to your sections, and you'll see a section for the Mac operating system and a section for Windows. Just go ahead and click on the appropriate link. If you've got a torrent client installed, then you can go ahead and click on the download Gimp link here. If you don't, then go ahead and click on this link here. That will actually be the setup file itself rather than the torrent. So it depends on whether you've got a torrent client loaded or not. Having said that, go ahead and pause the video and download Gimp. Make sure that you can start Gimp, and we'll get started. Okay, so you've downloaded Gimp and we're ready to fire it up. So let's load Gimp up. And we're going to create a new image, and that image size has to match the resolution of our Godot tutorials, which is 800 by 600. So go ahead and click on the file menu and click new and type in 800 for the width and 600 for the height and press enter. Okay, so we're going to want to create a ground, and we'll need a box, we'll need a circle, a UFO of some sort, and a cloud. So those are the different pieces that we want to create in our scene. So let's click on the free select tool here, left click. Let me fire up the monitor keys here so that you can see any keys that I type, as well as my left, right, and middle mouse clicks. So we clicked on the free select tool. We'll go over here to the left hand side and left click once, and we'll start building the ground by just left clicking. We want a bit of a hill here. And once we get to the other side, we want a little bit of a slope, and then a slight ledge here. Now we'll kind of make the cliff here on the way down. Okay, and all I'm doing is left clicking, and now I'll connect these, and I've created the first selection. Now the next selection, I'll have to change my mode over here to add to the current selection, because I want to keep this this cliff face here. So we're going to add another one over here. We'll left click on the right side now and basically do the same thing. Kind of just create a cliff of sorts here. and we'll close that off so that we've got both our left and right cliffs selected. So now you're going to click on the left click on the bucket fill tool, and we're going to come down to our pattern fill. We'll click on that, and actually pine will work well for us. So make sure our opacity is 100% pattern fill with pine, and well, maybe not pine. Let's undo that. I thought it was pine, but I guess this orange will probably work better. Yeah, that looks better. That'll work better. So so now we got the side of our cliff, and now we want to create the grass section on top of our cliff. So again, we will select our free select tool. We want to get rid of the selection that we have there, so we'll go up to the select menu and click on none, so nothing selected. Again, we've got the free select tool, and we're going to just basically create a ground area here that goes along with the cliff. We don't have to be perfect. It's just for the tutorial. So okay. I should point out here I'm not a Gimp expert, although I love the program. There's many aspects of the program that I'm not familiar with, but I know just enough to be dangerous. We'll connect that there and make sure that we're in the add to current selection, and we'll create the grass section over here. Again, left clicking as we go along. We'll close that out there. And yeah, that looks pretty good for the grass. So now we've got our selection. We're going to go up to the filters menu. We're going to go down to render, clouds, and we're going to click on solid noise. And we're going to play with the X and Y sizes until we get something that looks the way we want here. Okay, that looks pretty good. Your settings are probably going to be a little bit different. Of course, I'm close enough to 8 and 3 here, and then click OK, and it gives you this nice cloud looking section. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to click on colors and colorize, and we're going to change that hue to a green, and play with the saturation and lightness to get the look for the grass that we want. I'd say that's pretty good for now. Click OK. Now we need to add a little piece here to kind of finish off the cliff. So we're going to have a little bit of a jump here. So again, we'll left click on the free select tool, and we'll click here and here. And close it off. And I think we use the fill tool in orange, and we'll do that again. But this time we're going to go to the colors and click on brightness and contrast, and we're going to lighten that up a little bit. so that we have a little bit of it. Oh, let me cancel out of that. We forgot, we still have the other parts selected. Let's go select none. It's my fault. And click on the free select tool, and we're going to try and grab this the best way we can. You'll see that we don't have to be super precise here. So we're going to do some editing to it anyway. So click on color, brightness and contrast, and maybe we'll make that one darker. Yeah, that'll work out fine. Alright, so click select none, and we have our cliff. Probably doesn't look the greatest yet, so let's select both the left and right cliff, and as well as the grass. Doing the same thing, free select tool, and you don't have to be super precise here. We're just going to get pretty close, and you'll see why you don't have to be super precise in just a second. Close that off. Again, make sure that we're in add to the current selection mode. And we'll loop around the right side, on the right side of the cliff here, and close it off. Okay, so we have both the left and the right side of the cliffs as well as the grass selected. Now we want to go up to filters, and we're going to go to noise, and the HSV noise, we're going to click on that, and my settings are 2, 3, 10, and 10, which are okay, and click OK. And we're going to apply that probably 5 or 6 times. You can apply it again by pressing the Control F key, and do that 5 or 6 times until you start to see a nice texture on the grass here. Okay, that looks pretty good. So the next thing you're going to do is click on filters, go back to noise again, and the slur. We're going to click on the slur selection that time, and we will bring our randomization up to 50, and the repeat, let's see what we got here. Around 16. You can try some different seeds if you want to, but I did 50 and 16, and that looks pretty good. Don't worry about the black above the grass. We'll just erase that out. Click on OK. So there you go. It gives you this kind of neat little grass texture on top of the side of your cliff here. So the next thing we need to get rid of this the black areas that it put on in our image. So let's go select none so that we don't have anything selected, and click on our eraser tool, and you can hold down the control key and use your middle mouse button and use that to zoom in and out on your picture. And we'll zoom in a little bit, middle mouse click, and you can drag around to get to the sections that we need to erase. Control again and mouse. So I'm just going to use the left mouse button here and start getting rid of the ugly black sections that we have here. Now there might be an easier way to do this. If there is, feel free to let me know in the comments, because we'll grow together. You guys can definitely tell me some things about Gimp, as I'm definitely not an expert. Okay, well, let me scroll out here. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So we have our cliff and our ground area complete. So that's one piece of it down. We said we need a circle and a square as well. So we'll start on the circle first. So go over here and make sure the layer tab is selected, and right click in the blank area here and create a new layer. It should be 800 by 600, and we're just going to leave the defaults and click out OK, and it'll create another layer above the background. We'll click on the ellipse select tool, and just anywhere in the sky area here, we'll left click and start dragging. Now if you press the shift key, which I'm going to do, that will make sure that the square remains square. The circle remains perfect. It won't be an ellipse. It basically will be a perfect circle, and that's what we want. We want a perfect circle, and we need a box. Those are the two objects we're going to create. So you can create it any size you want. It probably work best if it's somewhere around that size. I'm just kind of going by eye here. So now that I've got that selected, we're going to fill this with something as well. So we'll click on the bucket fill tool and pick another pattern. Pick anything you want. I'm going to pick this one and see how that looks, and I'm going to fill it in. No, that's too dark, so I'm going to edit, undo that, and I need to pick up something that's a little bit lighter. So let's pick up, let's do the pine on this. I don't like that either. Sorry about that. Let's try this. That's going to be too dark as well. Green will be too much like the grass. Let's go with this one and see what that does. Yeah, that's fine. It's almost like a wood grain. That'll work. So now we want to create an edge around this that's a little bit darker. So let's go up to the select menu, go down to border, and this is where we can put a border around our circle, and we only want it to be probably 2 pixels wide, and I'll click OK. I'm going to scroll in using the control and the middle mouse button. Again, middle mouse button to pan, and you'll see that we've got a selection area around the circle. But I'm not going to be able to fill it perfect unless I add another layer. So I'm going to come over here and add a new layer. You'll see it goes to the very top. Now I can fill this without having to worry about the brown area. So we'll click on the fill tool, and we'll change the pattern to something that looks a little bit like chrome. This will work, and we'll fill it in with that. You'll see it kind of gives it a different look there. I'm going to lighten that up a little bit with brightness and contrast. That's good. And then I'm going to darken it with my airbrush tool. And because I only have that area selected when I paint with the airbrush tool, it's only going to paint in that selection, and I just want to darken up the edges a little bit so that they're a little more noticeable. Okay, I think that's alright. So let's control and middle mouse button to scroll out. That looks fine. Again, use whatever you want to fill the circle in with. Now I need to merge these 2 objects down. So I will right click on this top layer and tell it to merge it down. Now you'll see that these are now one object. So if I use the I button here to hide it, you'll see that the whole object, including the border, goes away. So I've got everything on that layer. Again, go to select none, get rid of that selection that we had, and now let's do the same thing and create a box. So we'll click on the rectangle select tool. You'll left click and start dragging. Hold the shift key so that it maintains the aspect ratio of a square. Make it about the same size as your circle. Click on the fill tool. Fill it in with something that you like. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We'll use that. Go to the select border. Make sure that we're on 2. And I'm going to zoom in there again. Again, we don't want to fill it on the layer that has the box itself. We need to create a layer above it. So we right click and create a new layer. We're going to fill it in with that chrome. And we're going to lighten it up by clicking on colors and brightness and contrast. Lighten it up a little bit. No, I don't want to do that. That's good. Right there. Again, the Airbrush tool, and just kind of highlight it more on the outside so that it shows up a little bit better. You can get as creative as you want here. Control key, scroll out. So good. Now I have the circle and the square. We need to merge these layers down. So right click on the top one and click on merge down. So now we have both the circle and the square in the same layer. I said we need a cloud and we need a UFO. Let's make the cloud next. So click on select none, get rid of all our selections, and we'll click on the free select tool again. And this time we're not going to click, move, left click, move, left click, move. We're just going to left click and hold it down and kind of draw a cloud the best we can with the button down, and we'll connect those. So you'll have something like this. Way too jaggy in my opinion, so you can click on select and distort, and all the default settings that are up here, 127, 8, 4, 2, seem to be alright when you use it. So click on OK, and you'll see that it kind of gives you a better outline for your cloud. Again, we're going to fill that in. So we're going to click on filters and go down to the render, clouds, and solid noise. And you'll see it looks like streaks sort of. So we need to increase the detail, I think, on it. Kind of give it a little bit more of a cloud look. Let's say maybe I don't know, 9 or 10. Yeah, 10 seems to work, and 9 and close to 3. Click OK. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Again, it's black. We want it color of a cloud, so we'll click on colors and colorize it, and make it a blue, and we'll also lighten it up quite a bit. And put some saturation up there too. That's a great thing about this, make these images look the way you want. Alright, so we created the cloud image. Let's do a select none here. Yeah, that's close enough. We could highlight it with let's edit undo that so that we get the selection back, and just put a little bit of, use a spray airbrush tool and put some highlights just here and there. You can get as creative as you want. Okay, select none. Yeah, that's okay. And we need a UFO. Okay, that's going to be the last piece of the puzzle here. So click on the ellipse tool. We want to make sure that we've got the add to current selection highlighted, and we're just going to drag out a ellipse here and then create something on top of it that looks like a bubble-ish. Maybe like that. Okay. Now we need to fill that in, and I'm not really the best artist in the world this way, but try our best here. Pick a color and grab your airbrush tool, and maybe you want to increase the size a little bit. Left click and drag, and we're just going to fill that in all the way with blue. Let's do that because the top's probably going to need to be blue, and we'll make the bottom what color? Sure, we'll make it an orange color. Now that pretty much looks horrible, so let's make it a green color, maybe darker green. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Click on the black, kind of highlight the edges here a little bit, bring the size down. And a little bit on the edge here. Click on white, maybe give it a little bit of a highlight here. If you want, you can add lights or whatnot in here. So click OK, select none, and there you have it. We have all the images that we need for the intro to the physics and collisions engine in Godot. So we need to save out all of these images into separate files. So let's do that. Let's click on the rectangle select tool here and highlight just the UFO. Edit copy. Edit paste as new image. And you'll see that it pasted as a new image. And one of the coolest things is, yeah, the glass in the UFO is actually, you can see through it, so that's pretty cool. But we need to crop this image, and we can auto crop it. We can click on image and auto crop the image, and it'll shrink right down to the UFO. We'll do the same thing with the other images here. We'll select this with the rectangle select tool, edit copy, edit paste as new image, image auto crop. There we go. And last, well, not last, we've got a few more things. We'll do the circle next, and edit copy, edit paste as new image, image auto crop. There you go. And last but not least, the cloud. We need the cloud as well. So select it. Okay. Edit copy. Edit paste as new layer, or sorry, not new layer, new image, and auto crop. Alright. And when you're putting the square around all your images, make sure that it's the top layer that you're actually copying and pasting. Otherwise you'll be copying the background, which is white, and pasting nothing, which is white. So we don't need this front layer anymore because we basically have the images as separate files. So we can right click on that layer and delete it. Alright, let's do select none so that nothing's highlighted here. I like to do one additional thing, and that's give the whole sky kind of like a blue hue, if you will. So go ahead and click on the fuzzy select tool here and click in the white area, and you'll see that's going to basically create a selection all around the white area. And then we're going to click on filters, and we're going to go down to noise and HSV noise, and the default setting's fine, and we're going to control F that probably about 6 or 7 times until it starts to look pretty nice. Again, it's going to be gray. That looks pretty good, but it's gray right now. What are we going to do? We're going to click on colors and colorize it. There you go. So now you got this nice blue hue to it, and we'll click OK, and you're done. You've just created all the source files we need for the next tutorial on the physics and collisions for the Godot 2D engine. So save out these files as PNG files in the source folder that we created in the first setting up the Godot engine. So click on File, and you can export these and select the file type, because you're going to export these as PNG image. And of course I put the folder in on my desktop, and remember we created a source folder and we have an image folder there. Create a new folder called 2D intro source and put all of those images that you just created in that folder, and click on export, and make sure you export all of the files. And I hope you've learned something. I know it wasn't Godot, but now you're set up to do the next tutorial in the Godot engine. So I hope you've learned something. This was pretty fun for me. I like messing around in Gimp. So we'll see you in the next video.